Hello everybody, welcome to Free Coder. Here you can learn all about programming.
Okay, if you're a developer who uses AI coding assistants, listen up. There is one single concept that has a massive impact on how well they work. And it's probably the one skill you're missing. We're talking about the context window. You've seen this online, right? Maybe you've even had this argument with your team. On one side, you've got devs who are just frustrated. They say these tools are unreliable, they make stuff up, they're just not there yet. And on the other side, you get the classic, you're just using it wrong. It's a skill issue. Now, there's truth to both sides, for sure, but let's lean into that second point for a minute. So, if it really is a skill issue, if there's some secret technique that turns a frustrating experience into an amazing one, what is it? What's the one thing most of us just aren't paying enough attention to? Yep, it all comes down to the context window. This is the number one constraint that AI coding agents have to deal with. And honestly, most developers don't really get what it is or how it's secretly sabotaging their results. All right, so let's pull back the curtain on this thing. What in the world is a context window? So the basic definition is actually pretty simple. The context window is just everything the AI model can see at any given moment. That includes all your inputs, your system prompts, the messages you send, and all of the AI's outputs, so its replies. All of that together, that's the context. And as you go back and forth with an assistant like Claude or ChatGPT, every single message you send and every reply you get, it just keeps getting added to that context window. It grows and grows. But, and this is a big but, it is not infinite. Every single model has a hard-coded limit. And if your conversation goes on for too long, or you try to stuff a giant file in there, you're going to hit that limit and get an error. And those limits can vary a lot. They're measured in tokens, which you can think of as basically a word or a piece of a word. So you have some models with pretty small windows, like around 4,000 tokens. Then you've got something like Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is a pretty hefty 200,000. And then you've got absolute monsters like Gemini 1.5 Pro with a mind-boggling 2 million token window. So you're probably thinking, okay, easy, problem solved. I'll just use the model with the biggest window. But it is not that simple. I mean, think about it. If bigger was always better, why would these limits even exist in the first place? Well, it turns out there are some serious hidden costs. For one, there are the architectural constraints. More context needs more memory, more processing power, and that gets expensive fast. But here's the part that really matters to you. Performance can actually get worse the bigger the context gets. It becomes this classic needle in a haystack problem. The more junk you cram into the context, the harder it is for the AI to find the one piece of information that actually matters. And that leads us to this really surprising, kind of hidden flaw in how all of these models work. It's a phenomenon that researchers call lost in the middle. Just take a look at this chart. It shows you how much different parts of a long conversation actually impact the AI's final answer. And you can see the stuff at the very beginning and the stuff at the very end, high impact. The AI pays a lot of attention to it. But all that information buried in the middle, whoa, the impact drops way down. It's like the AI just kind of forgets about it. It's not on purpose, it's just a weird side effect of how its attention mechanism works. And if this sounds kind of familiar, it should, because it's a lot like our own brains. We humans have something called primacy and recency bias. We're way more likely to remember the first thing someone tells us and the last thing they tell us. And all the details in the middle? Yeah, they tend to get a little fuzzy. Well, the AI is doing basically the exact same thing. So here's the real kicker. Getting a bigger context window doesn't fix this problem. In fact, it can actually make it worse. A bigger window just gives you a much, much larger middle for all those important details to get lost in. Okay, so if a bigger window isn't the silver bullet, then what is? Well, the solution isn't about the tool you use. It's about your technique. It's about consciously, actively mastering your context. The core strategy is right here. Just like us, these models work way better when they have less, more focused information to deal with. Your goal should be to keep your context lean, clean, and totally relevant to the specific problem you're trying to solve right now. Let's look at a real example of this in action. So here we have a coding session where the context window is almost half full, 48% used. And look at that chart. A massive 40% of that is just the old conversation history. That creates this huge, bloated middle where it's super easy for the AI to get confused or forget a key instruction. So how do we fix this? It's pretty simple. First, you got to be able to check how much context you're even using. From there, you've got a couple of options. The first, and honestly your best bet most of the time, is to just clear the history. Start with a totally blank slate. The other cool option is to compact the conversation, which basically tells the AI to summarize everything, keeping the general intent, the vibe, without all the token-heavy fluff. And check out the difference this makes. After clearing the history, we've gone from using 48% of our context all the way down to just 5%. We've freed up all this space, we completely eliminated that messy middle, and now the AI has a clean, focused environment to work in. And you know what that means? Much, much better performance. Now, just a quick word of warning here. Be really careful about things that can bloat your context without you even realizing it. Things like MCP servers are cool, but they can inject massive tool sets into your system prompt. Same goes for writing super long custom instructions. Just always remember, a lean setup is a powerful setup. So what is the big takeaway from all of this? It's really about shifting your entire approach. Stop chasing the biggest, baddest tool and start thinking about how to use the tool you have in the smartest way possible. It's about adopting what I call a lean context mindset. The secret to getting incredible results from AI isn't about finding the model with the largest possible context window. The secret is being intentional, actively managing the context you give it, making sure it's always clean, focused, and relevant. I think this is the best analogy for it. You need to start treating your context window like your computer's RAM, not like its hard drive. It is not meant for long-term storage, it's for the immediate task at hand. Keep it clean, keep it focused, and I promise you, you will see a huge improvement in your results. So the next time you fire up your AI assistant and start working, just ask yourself this one question. What's hiding in the middle of my context window? Because the answer to that question, well, that might just be the key to unlocking what these tools can really do.